hit the wrong thing. Ooh, y'all know how I do. Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm doing fine. That's what one of my parents say. I'm doing fine, and I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, family, as you are coming on in, let's get ourselves prepared for this wonderful evening that we are about to have. And I hope you've been able to do some of your practicing during the week because we are on this journey together, right? And we're making it happen. So, of course, this is our episode 4. So we're going to be talking about the moment between what happens and what we do. So we're looking at what happens and what we do. Tried to change my setup a little bit here, and I'm going to see how this kind of works out so I'll make sure I don't miss anything. So we know that our goal to empower our lives is to not to stop feeling, but to reprogram the way we respond. So first of all, I want to do a check-in and welcome you again to Heart with Lady Love. This is season 1, mental programming and clarity. And this episode is about to reprogram the response. I'm all over the place. So reprogram your response. So if you can hear me, I'm doing my sound check too. If you can hear me just fine, please let me know. Let me know. Turn this one up some more on that one. And I believe I do have Facebook up loud. Had a few challenges last week, so hopefully that will make it better. So as people are coming on in, family, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you're doing, how you're growing. Hello, welcome. I love to see my faces in the places. If you can hear me, give me a heart. If you can hear me on Facebook, let me know. Give me a thumbs up so I will know that we are good to go. And we will go ahead and get started. And for those of you who have come for the first time, welcome. I am so glad that you're here and looking forward to our time this evening. Okay, thank you, babe. Loud and clear. I love it. All right, so we can keep this party going. All right. Okay, so Lord have mercy. Okay, so let's think about our week. Let's think about our week and how things have been going. So I want to do that check-in. I got a couple of inboxes. Is that what I say? DMs, inboxes, that were letting me know how things were going and that they were putting forth effort. Got a couple of tags and comments within the weekly videos, Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos, and on the Purple Power pauses. So things are working, and I'm so happy to be able to say that, and I'm so glad that it's being beneficial, that people are learning and growing, and we learn and growing together, because life is a growing experience. So let's get started. You know, I like to start with our own little pause to get ourselves in the mood for what we're doing. So we're going to have our little breathing pause. We're going to breathe in and breathe out. One more time. And let it go. Now say this. I pause, I notice, and I choose. I respond and not react. I pause, I notice, I choose. I choose to respond and not react. Doesn't that feel good to just be able to say that? Because we are making these choices, family. And you know, one of the teachings I want to mention or highlight tonight too is that the response is the program. Does that make sense? Think about it. The response is the program. 50 to 60 viewers may experience. Oh, yeah, I don't know what be going on with Facebook. It keep telling me my current frame rate is too low. And it always just does this when the video comes on. I'm going to have some little help with that later. But I hope you all can see me and hear me okay, because I really don't know what that means. Remember, I told you this is a learn as you go. So let's see. So that response, again, is actually a program. So most of what we think our reactions are just who we are and that they're our personality, that's not true. A lot of what we call personality is actually, I'm sorry guys, this is fascinating me, that we call, I lost my little spot where I am. Okay, so the things that we call personality is actually programming, because you know you can change your personality. I have a God rest his soul, Dave Sabula in Legal Shield. He used to always say, if you don't like your personality, get a new one. So that's a way that you know that it's a program. Your personality is actually a program. It's programmed by the way you have lived your life. Your response was trained by what you saw growing up, by what you survived, by the things that you were rewarded, by the things that kept you safe. Think about it. All of that is our programming that we took in to show the world who we are. That personality, that program. So tonight, we're not going to be judging our reactions. We're going to upgrade them. And we're upgrading them with responses. So here's the truth. A trigger hits, then your body reacts. Your mind tells you a story, and you respond from the story. Do you notice how each one of those steps are still things that we can control if we slow down enough in this fast-paced world, these quick responses, the hurry up and get something out your mouth kind of mentality that we have? You're in control of that. And it's amazing how a lot of us, and even myself at some point, we would blame other people for the things that would come out of our mouths. And we still do it today. You know, I'm not perfect. I still may say it. But what I do appreciate even with myself is that I will notice it even after the fact and can still go back and correct it because of the awareness that we talked about in the previous episodes and my desire for improvement and all of those things. So to reprogram our response, it's going to require not maybe it's going to require for us to change the response. We can't do the same thing. So if we're going to change the story, we can change the response. So we have to do that if we're going to reprogram ourselves and move us to the level that we need to be. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to think about what story are we choosing to tell ourselves. I don't like the way I have this set up tonight, guys. So work with me, work with me. Okay. So, this is fascinating to me that I did this. So here we go. Which one of these do you do most often? Comment when it comes to your reactions. Is it through your body, through your thoughts, or through your story? Because if you change your story, there again, you can change your response. Do you recall the other shows where we talked about having that awareness first is key, and making sure that we pause when things happen? That pause is going to give you that initial ability to reset what it is that you're thinking about and what you're doing. So there was a time when I didn't even realize that I was reacting, like I've said before, until after the damage was already done. Have you been in a situation like that? And then you look back and you're like, man, that wasn't me. You feel regret. You feel sad about it. And it's like you get what we call caught up. So I've done that. But at the same time, I realized that I hadn't caught it early enough. And a lot of times when you reflect back on things when they happen, you can think about when you noticed the change in your temperature, your body temperature. You feel that sweat in your forehead, or for me, you feel that hair stand up on the back of your neck. You know, sweating under my armpits. Things that, if I go back and think about it, were happening, but what was I doing? Ignoring the signals. Once we ignore it, I get you, PD. Once we ignore it, that's like saying to ourselves, oh, I got this, because now you on a whole nother level. Ain't no going back now. We're there in the midst, right? So it's a challenge for ourselves, and I like to try to have fun with it, with myself, and give myself props when I do it. Like, oh, I caught myself. I was so proud of me. Oh, and that was able to go so much further, and I got so much more accomplished in that particular situation or conversation because I took control of myself and I paused. And it was difficult, but it was worth it. That makes sense? It was worth it. So when I learned how to pause long enough to name the feeling, to name what it is, why am I about to snap? Why am I getting ready to go off about this? It's in that moment that you can take total control. And I started realizing that I wanted to respond like the woman that I was becoming and not the one that I have been being. If your desire is to always grow, you're going to do that because, like I said, You're either growing or dying. There is no in between. Okay? So when you're thinking from that perspective, you're able to do more and be more. Hi, my cousins and PD. Thank y'all so much for joining. And thank you for your feedback and responding. I appreciate that so much. Thank you, my TikTok, tickety tick tock top family. So let's go a little bit deeper. So the growth doesn't start with perfection. We are not perfect by no shape, form, means, or fashion. Unfortunately, though, some think that they are, bless their little hearts, and thinking you're going to be perfect in an imperfect world is really not logical, but okay, some people like to stay in that circle. And what do I always say? It's okay. We all choose the way we want to live, what we want to improve, what we don't want to improve, what we want to acknowledge, what we don't want to acknowledge. And it takes a certain vulnerability for yourself to open up and talk about the things that we need to improve on and to work on. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in, when we do that, then sometimes it can appear as, oh, you weak, you ain't got it together, or you can't handle this, you can't do that. I mean, where do we even come up with all that nonsense? And it's that nonsense like that that has us jacked up to begin with, okay? So you can make that decision for yourself. And if you think you're perfect, that's okay. You can think that. Nobody can tell you how to think. But understand that it's your choice, not something that you can put on other people. There's nothing that you need to prove and all that stuff. And because if you do, then that means something is not sitting right with you. Because, I mean, if you just ask the question, why do I think I'm perfect in an imperfect world? That's your answer, to the question. So, hey, if it works, it works. But for me and in my world, that doesn't work. And I know that I'm imperfect, and I strive to do better in my imperfection. And I don't use being imperfect as an excuse to do things that I know I should not do. That's called maturity. When you get to that point where, okay, we do things like, man, I know I shouldn't have done that, but anywho, I do it. I still do it to this day, but I do it a lot less than what I used to. See, I'm moving in the right direction, right? At least I feel that I am. And most of those who associate with me and my family and friends, they feel the same way because I ask. That's another way that you can know how you're growing and how you're doing. So, number 2, our teaching message number 2. We talked about this a little bit the last time. We have to have a reprogramming ladder that's helping us to take our things step by step. Okay? We got here, now we got to crawl out of it. So I'm going to give those tools again for reprogramming your responses. And this is going to be called the reprogramming ladder. Because when stress hits, you need something to climb. Because we got to come out of that. Okay? So step number 1, and I already said it, and if you've been following along with other things, you've already done it. If you think you know what the first step is to climb up that ladder, put it in the text for me. I often ask people, who you trying to convince, the world or yourself? Amen. Amen. I love it. So think about, what is that first step? We have to pause. Let's call it freeze. Whatever the case may be, the first thing that you have to do is pause. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. However, the more you become aware of those triggers, the sweat, the hair on the neck, and all of that. Now, I meant to tell y'all too, for me, I used to curse like a sailor back in school. I wouldn't know if it was like a sailor, but I had my cursing days. And now that I don't, as a whole, what I do know about myself is that when I do begin to curse, I have already began to go too far. Yes, free yourself. Acknowledgement. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, so and it's been weird because I can be in the midst of a situation, and when I feel myself cursing, and I say, and I'm cursing, and I actually will say that, and I'm cursing, so that's my cue for me to know I need to back down. So I need to put a pin in this. I need to stop. So I don't just do it and keep going like I have in the past, because it's a process. It's a journey. It's not going to be something you do perfectly, but you can definitely do better. So for me, if I start cursing in the midst of getting upset, then I know I've already gone too far and I've ignored the other signs. The elevation in my voice, the tone of my voice. I'll feel those things coming, and now that I try to be more in tune, I can catch it better. So that pause is like, okay, what am I feeling? What am I doing? What story am I telling myself? What name am I going to give this? Because once you name it, you can tame it. Yes, cause I will cuss them people. I know, PD, girl. You know, I know me and my girl go way back. And my boo-boo, boy, I tell you, we had some days. But I know. But you've been coming a long way, girlfriend. We all have. And that's what I love about it. But I really like the highlight that Pam mentioned, that she often asks people, who are you trying to convince, the world or yourself? And that is a powerful statement and something that we really need to think about, because that's where I pulled in the proving. Like, once you feel something and you're a certain way about something, what are you trying to prove now at this point? Like, why? What's the matter? You know what I mean? So we're in harmony with that. And Pam, what are some of the responses that you get when you ask people who are they trying to convince, the world or themselves? As I find, people think you're trying to be funny, but that's only because they're not coming from the same place. It's the thought of, oh, well, dang, what am I? Who am I trying to convince? You have to have those self-talks, right? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to do that. Absolutely. So, that first step, we're going to pause. That second step, like I said, we're going to name it. If you can name it, you can tame it. Name that feeling. Think about it in the situation that it's in. Because first, when you pause, that's not weakness. That pause is power. That is so powerful that you really can't explain it. You have to feel that power. Can't explain that power. Even one breath can change the outcome of a situation. Just that one breath. Okay? So now we're going to name that feeling and that signal. Am I feeling disrespected? Am I feeling like you think I fell off a turnip truck? Am I feeling like you talking down at me? You go through these things. What are you feeling? Right now I feel overwhelmed. My chest is kind of tight. My chest is tight right now. The only way you're going to know those things is you're going to have to do what first? You're going to have to pause. You're going to have to pause. And the beautiful thing about the way that we were created is we have so many abilities to do things and control more than we realize. But unfortunately, we've been in the habit of making excuses for things. So, for example, and I've been guilty of it too, when we say, you made me feel blah, 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 think about where you're putting the responsibility for your behavior. Is it that person's responsibility for how you have taken something in, the story you've given it, and the feeling that you've tied to it? Really, that's not the case, is it? Because you actually, and it can be difficult, no one makes you feel things. The situation and what you associate it with is where your feelings come from, or what it might remind you of. But it's not that individual's responsibility for you to control your tongue, what you say, how you say it, all of that. We are accountable for that ourselves. But I was saying that to say we are quick to say it's somebody else's fault. When is it our fault? Then we go with that perfect thing. Because, you know, some people, I promise you, I know some who they are never wrong in their own eyes. Never, ever, 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 ever wrong. And you are not going to prove them wrong. You're not going to make it be wrong. None of that. Okay? And even with that, that person, there again, like I said with everything else, is doing the best they can as who they are at that time. Because what's going to happen? They're either going to grow in that area or they're going to die. Because you're going to go one way or the other. And guess what? It's your choice. So if you want to walk around thinking you're right about everything come out your mouth as an imperfect person in an imperfect world, then you go figure. Because I'm good, right? My goal is to try to help other people to see that you need to be responsible and accountable for yourself. And if you always get upset time somebody says something about a particular behavior, and you find yourself saying, people always saying that all I hear is blah, blah, blah. That's called a clue too, boo. Because why are all these people saying some of the same thing, but you deny it in every perspective? Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. That's all I can say, because everybody's doing the best they can. That's who they are. Okay? So, we have identified it. I can name it now. So step 3 is that need. What am I needing to do right now? So I'm having this conversation. I'm feeling these triggers, the smoke signals, and I'm still going. And then I finally realized, okay, all right, I'm a little, okay, hold on, let me pause. Okay, what am I feeling right now? Okay, so now I can name it. So what do I need in order to change this? Okay, so do I need to just close my mouth? Do I need to count backwards from 10 to 20 or whatever the case may be? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to go get a drink of water? Do I need to just come back to this later? What do you need? Only you can answer that. Only you can answer what do you need. And it's amazing how people will be quick to tell you what you need. You need to do this. You need to do that. Why are you doing it? What you need to do is, but what you need to do is stay in your lane. When you tell people what they need to do, that's like that's like picking a fight, if you will. Because there are better words that you can choose other than telling somebody what they need to do, especially another individual, grown person. Yes, we can tell children too what they need to do and all of that, but we won't go into that because there's even a way that you do that too. I know how I am about my babies. But what are you needing? Okay, once you choose that, and like I've said, you go through that scenario, and now we're at step number 4, choosing. So what is it that you're going to do out of the things that you're thinking you need to do? Which one of them are you going to choose to do? Or are you going to allow yourself to be out of control? The other thing about being out of control is you have to be ready for what's going to come back, right? Because you can't be out of control and not want the other person to be out of, you can't be in control while somebody else, wait a minute, let me back up. When 2 people are out of control, we already know what that is. That's a hot mess. But when one person is in control and the other one is out of control, what do you have in that scenario? I'm going to tell you about with my hubby, my baby. He is always in control. He be making me mad sometimes. Because he be in such control when it comes to this particular area. And I've watched myself and learned for myself. I'm like, how is he doing this? And it would amaze me how he would just be in such control. He is not going to argue with me. I don't care how much I'm going to try to argue. And I used to try to argue back in the day. What? I'm trying to, what? We ain't going to talk. What you mean? Why not? Blah, 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 blah. And see, this is what you get out of 20 years plus of being with someone and growing together and going through those ups and downs, those ins and outs, those better for worse moments and all of that. We've had it. We've have it. Did you hear that? We've had it. We have it. And as long as we're in this imperfect world, we're going to continue to have it. Right? So, what are you going to do? Okay? So we pause, we name what we need, then we choose. How many with me with that? Give me some hearts if that makes sense to you. Show me some love. Let me know that you're still with me and that we getting this. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. He said the same thing about me. She'd be like, Mama, something has to bother you. I have never let anything I can't control bother me. Girl, okay? And I ain't never seen Keita Boo like that either. And that's and you know, we all have different gifts and talents, and I also feel that the different abilities and things that we have developed over the years has a lot to do with that, because remember I said our personality is a program and it's from things that we've learned in our past. Like, I know for me, the reason I like psychology and why I am really drawn to the study of people is because we crazy. My family, crazy. In all shape, forms, of fashion. The good crazy, the crazy crazy, the I ain't gonna talk about that crazy. You know the ones. We all got them as far as I'm concerned. And it was always interesting to me to see us grow up in a household, and we all have these different personalities, but within some of the same environments, which is the home environment. But that's a part of it. The rest of it is who you are and how you are expressed in school. The roles you play in school is a difference, even though you're in the same household. The relationships that you're building within the household. All sisters and brothers aren't close, and it's okay. In my book, I talk about the fact of how we have our family that we are born into. So that means that we didn't have anything to do with it. We didn't choose it. We didn't do nothing with it. It is what it is. But it doesn't mean that you have to like everybody in your family. And I say that very straightforward because of the different personalities that people develop. You have the right to develop that. Now, when I say don't like, I don't mean it from the side of turn around and saying you hate somebody, or I can't stand this person, or this and that. Because if you're really honest, it's not the person, it's the personality. It's the programming. It's the choices they have made. You follow? But again, it can be reprogrammed. How many of you have had family that you were not close to growing up, but now as adults, you're close? Or vice versa. You were close growing up, but now it's like you don't have much in common. You don't kind of do anything, and it's okay. Right? So, not what? Not what? Girl, you're so silly. Right, my cousin and I were just talking about this. Okay. Are you talking about D? Because we've been talking a lot. I'm loving her stuff, especially when she's on there and she's like, so I was thinking. I love it. I want to come up with something that I can say when I'm doing my purple power pause or something, or my little tune in, because I just love the way she does that. Because the power in her statement is she was thinking. People don't really think anymore as a whole. They just do. And then the next words out of her mouth are the things that we pretty much all can relate to. And I just love it. She is hilarious, and the beauty of it is you can be serious, because I'm a serious person, but people tell me I'm the funniest thing. Like my husband, he laughs at me when I'm being serious. I don't understand, but he says I'm just funny. The kids, I could be serious, and I have to actually say, okay, yeah, I'm really being serious right now. What are you doing? And then they'll laugh because I said that. So I don't know, but uh, um, I say all that to say, having that combination and being able to do that is something that is great. Right. So I've seen y'all have a podcast. I've seen some on that. And that's on TikTok too, correct? Oh, I love it. The Think Before You Blink. That's something we gonna start putting on there. Girl, anybody ask you if I'm funny as heck? Bye. I love it. So, let's go on with the last part of this so we can wrap this up. What time is it? Lord, it's 7:45. You know, y'all be doing too much. Y'all just be doing too much, as my kids would say. So how many of you remember the purple rain for our wisdom drop that we're going to continue on? And this is going to be how we do our reprogramming. The R is for recognize. Maurice Davis, anybody ask you, okay, I'm going to block y'all from being able to comment, talking about she's a comedian. Girl, anywho. So we're going to recognize it. The A, we're going to allow it. Remember, don't fight the feeling. Don't fight the feeling. Even if you feel like you shouldn't feel like that, don't fight it because you feel like that. You follow? Don't fight it. Feel it. Feel it even more so that you can identify it, so you can understand why. Because there's no such thing as I just am something. In my world, I don't believe that. I feel like that is a cop-out. That you're not ready to get to the root of why something is with you. That I just am, or it just is, honey, bye. You ain't ready. But you're doing the best as you can. That's who you are at that time, boo. And it's okay. It's okay. So then that's what the I is. We're going to inquire. The E is we name it. And the N is we name it. And the E, we exhale and we choose. Okay? Just telling the truth, baby girl. You know, once this podcast over, this show is over, okay. Keep on. Keep on keeping on, Sean. Okay, so I want to give you a little bit for what we're going to be going into next week. But let's think about this. I want you to use this sentence real quickly so we can do a quick practice. Finish this sentence. When I feel triggered, I will what? Because if you can prepare ahead of time, that gives your mental ability something that it can pull up. Your subconscious, even your conscience. If you rehearse, it's just like when you rehearse for a part in a movie or something that you're doing, when you're rehearsing and then it becomes like a natural thing. It's like, okay, so when this happened and when they say that, then I'm gonna do this or blah, blah, blah. So put it for your triggers. When I'm feeling this, I'm going to this. Because then you can even catch it faster. Okay? So we're going to keep it simple. One calm response. Let's just take one step at a time, family. That's all we need. One pause at a time. And the more we do this as adults, the more we can help our children to do it. Because, like I said, it ain't my babies out here that's got the problems. It's us people that's got the problems. And we trickle it down to them and call them crazy. Really? Ain't that wrong, on, babies. Ain't that right, PD? We know that. So we're going to work on this. So when I feel triggered, I will pause and breathe before I speak. Or when I feel triggered, I will ask one question instead of assuming something. When I'm feeling triggered, I will step away for 5 minutes. Pick what works for you. When I feel triggered, I will say, I need a moment. Now, I think that one is the one for me because I'm already in the midst of talking. And so when I'm starting to feel something, it's quite easy for me to say, you know what? I need a moment. Let me get back to you. Let me put a pin in this for the moment. Because it's in that moment that you can acknowledge everything. The rain, the purple rain, recognize, you know, let it be. Let it be there. Feel it. All of that. Okay? And so I also want to put a quick message out there because I'm also looking forward to growing this. And I've had several people to ask me about workshops. So I want to put a quick message out there for women leaders and all of those who may be watching or who may catch it on the playback. This is the kind of work that I enjoy doing, and I bring it to churches, to women organizations, to gatherings, because so many women carry pressure quietly and call it normal. I was one of those. And I still find myself doing that sometimes because I'm still learning. I'm going to always be learning. As long as I'm on this world. As long as I'm here, my goal is I'm always learning. Always growing. I'm growing to my death. How about that? And my desire is to be here at least 120 years on the minimum in good shape. But you have to be careful what you ask for. So I'm trying to work on me and how I want to be and help the children, help the women, help us to grow. And so I do that. And I'm a transformational speaker. And I teach practical tools to help us to respond and not react. And it's so needed. So if you know of environments from schools to other platforms, women's event, churches, anywhere that may want to take in my message, one of my workshops is that stress is not the enemy. And I talked about some of that, but I'm defining that even more and enjoying doing it even more. So I want to keep that going. So keep that in mind. Please share my information. Make sure that you're following me. And next Sunday, we're going to go even deeper because reprogramming your response gets easier when you understand your triggers and your patterns. So you got to know the patterns that follow the triggers. Okay? So we're going to go into that and talk about that. So we're going to be talking about what sets you off, what your body does first, and how to interpret the loop faster. Remember I talked about the loop in a couple of other episodes and how we can do that faster. And we're going to look forward to that. So if you would like information on my workshops and would like for me to be there, just send me a message and type event. And if you would like, I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I did pin it in the comment. If you would like my free 7-day Purple Power Pause Reset, I will send that to you. And you just need to type in purple, and I will make sure that I get that to you. Okay? Hello. So That's it for tonight, family. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all the interaction. Thank you, hubby. I'm doing a phenomenal job. I'm so proud. Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, what you just said here, PD? People need to try these things. Thank you, because at the end of the day, we don't know what triggers people exactly, especially if we aren't in your day to day. Exactly. That's a very good point. You don't see, we identify triggers for ourselves, but think about it. We don't know what other people's triggers are, right? Girl, bye. I love it. And that's going to be coming too. So, and just think, if everybody was working on their own triggers to identify them, then you could share them, because this is the place that we are right now. You don't, a lot of people don't look at things as triggers. They look at it as what somebody else is doing to them. They making me mad. They pissing me off. They doing this. But what's the trigger in you, so that you can define that? Because again, everyone's trigger is going to be different, and what they've been through in their lives are going to be different. So we need to do that. All right. So I love you all so much. Hey there, Williams, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining. I love you too, PD. I love all of you. Thank you. And you know what, family, this is the other thing. The majority of the family that I have consistently on here as a whole are our close-knit Lakeshore, MD, 80s, 90s family, that one is irreplaceable, and we have always been there for each other. I think that our generation and the time that we had in school, I really feel like it's going to take us, and I don't know all that millennial, all I know is baby boomers. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be, but whatever our generation is called, to help these younger ones. So we got to do it. So thank y'all for joining. I'll have the replay up, and I will see you all next week. So I'll do next week, but Super Bowl Sunday, I won't be on, because I know y'all won't be on. And I'll just put on there, just if you want to do something on that Sunday, if you can always check out the playbacks on YouTube, which is the same handle, Heart to Heart with Lady Love. That's the YouTube channel as well. All right, family, I'm trying to find my little music so that we can shut it down. Thank y'all again so much for coming, and have a great rest of your evening on purpose. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, look at old Mike, that part, girl. So we'll be celebrating our 40-year class reunion. 40 years? Girl, bye. Just can't be. Hold on. What? Anyway, I love y'all. Have a good evening. On purpose. Bye.